In searching for hidden gems in new cities, I sometimes let my nose be my guide. Today I'm in the city of Linares, Nuevo León, an official magic town nestled in the heart of Orange Country, where I'm following the smoky aroma of Texas-style barbecue to the grill of Luis Rivas. He's preparing his award-winning Mex-Tex.
So to eat these tacos, you first have to find the taco.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'm invited to his family's orange farm for a massive carne asada with his family and grilling friends who show me how it's done in the north.
I've never seen these! Tortillas right on the coals!
Then, the sweet smell of dulce de leche has led me to the original makers of one of Mexico's most beloved candies, Glorias.
The Pope has tried the glories.
And in my kitchen, I'm making a recipe inspired by Luis's friends that will have you begging for seconds.
Who would have thought to put arrachera in a fried rice?
A honey-glazed pork belly, arrachera, and shrimp fried rice.
And they yay to the yum, the pork belly. Doesn't stop.
I am going to give you a secret.
Yes, I love secrets. It's like nothing I've tasted before.
Meandering through the traditional colonial architecture of Linares, I'm led by a smell that's not so common in Mexican magic towns: Texas-style barbecue.
Pati, vete a hacer los tacos.
Sí.
Pues oye, ¿cómo no vas a hacer tacos? Estás en México.
I know. Sí.
So we're going to start doing some tacos agachados.
Okay.
Translated roughly is crouch tacos.
Yeah.
They were invented by the Familia Romero here in Linares because they have a really small stand.
Okay.
So people, when they went to eat, they had to eat like this. So.
Oh, to crouch.
Yeah.
So I love it how in Mexico we have all these catchy nicknames for our food, no? We love nicknames for people.
Food and for people. Yeah.
Luis Rivas' year-old restaurant is quickly becoming a local hotspot, with its melt-in-your-mouth smoked brisket fused with traditional Mexican flavors.
So the tacos agachados are traditionally made with what kind of meat?
Picadillo, with ground beef.
Picadillo,
Yeah.
which is the ground
Beef.
meat that's cooked Mexican style, but you're Texasanizing Mexican tacos.
We're creating the Mex-Tex.
I love it. So it's not Tex-Mex, it's
No,
Mex-Tex.
Mex-Tex. We're bringing the Texas
But
stuff into
I
Mexico.
have to tell you, Luis, I must have this bite. Una costrita. Yo muero por las costritas. Okay.
Traditionally, this is just salt and pepper. Good.
It tastes very, very smoky. Very, very bacony. Delicious. What's that bacon smoky flavor? Is it from the way you smoke it?
Maybe 8, 12, 14 hours, depending on the size of the brisket.
It's just falling apart in my mouth.
Luis is no ordinary weekend grill master. In fact, he came within reach of beating the Texans at their own game and achieving something no other Mexican has before.
So you won
The Houston Rodeo World Championship.
which prize? The third place?
Third place overall.
By a Mexican?
Yes.
You're that proud. Look at that
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah, for us,
That's amazing. Is it the first time a Mexican?
overall, being in the top 3 overall, we're the first ones.
So you decided to bring Texas barbecue here,
Yeah.
and now we're putting it in the tacos. Okay,
Sure.
walk me through making the tacos agachados.
His tacos agachados are my kind of deliciousness, and it starts with exactly 8 tacos, not 7.
It sounds more fancy, like I ate 8 tacos.
The deep-fried tortillas are smothered in refried beans, stuffed with juicy brisket, and covered under a mountain of toppings.
Y en Linares a todo le ponemos papas. ¿Por
Ok.
qué? No sé, pero todo lleva papas en
¿Por
Linares.
qué? Me lo como así.
Ya que lo
de
vieron,
tacos de
agarras un
taco.
taquito,
Ajá.
lo encuentras primero, ¿verdad? Ahí están
Okay,
tacos.
so to eat these tacos, you first have to find the taco.
Yeah.
I found my first taco, and
Everything.
it's a beautiful taco. Look at this.
And everything inside.
It's like meat and potatoes in a taco. It's refreshing, it's cute. It has so much flavor. You taste a little bit of the lard in the potatoes and the tortilla.
Déjese caer. Oh.
So after you won and you could bring the barbecue to Nuevo León, why did you choose Linares?
For me, Linares is a place I love. My family lives here forever.
Yeah.
And for me, it was trying to bring something different to the city.
To more fully understand Luis and his love of cooking, he's invited me to his family's nearby Orange Grove for a proper carne asada.
Todos eran...
Todo empezó, o sea, mi papá en su negocio hacía todas las navidades borregos para todos los empleados.
Okay.
Entonces yo tenía 10, 11 años cuando lo acompañaba.
Linares is located in Mexico's citrus region known as the Orange Belt. Despite the dry desert climate, the deep water table makes this area ideal for growing citrus.
Ese naranjo tiene alrededor de 29, 30 años.
30 years old.
Y este tiene más de 60 años.
60 years old.
The farm has come full circle in the Rivas family. Luis' father and grandfather both worked here as youngsters.
Pues aguarte lo que le da vida. Imagínate.
Sí.
Sí, poquitos. Por el sabor, le falta cualquier cosa.
No le falta nada.
Carne asadas are so much more than just grilled meat tacos, especially in the north. It's the weekly centerpiece of family life. But today's is even more special because Luis has invited his chef friends from all over Nuevo León.
There's all these nuances about carne asada people don't know. And here you have a very important community of like parrilleros here in Nuevo León are like, right?
It's part of the tradition. So if you're from Nuevo León, you need to know how to do carne asada.
Yeah.
That's a basic.
First, Luis teaches me how to make a traditional cabrito on a spit. Baby goat is a meal of historical significance to Nuevo León dating back centuries.
You can start here, Padre Jalapenos.
Okay, so I'm seasoning.
Yeah, you're seasoning it.
Okay,
so
we have oregano. And I didn't know that oregano was such a big deal in Nuevo León, that it grows. That's new to me.
Es el sabor de Nuevo León.
While the cabrito cooks, Luis's friends have prepared some traditional northern machacado, scrambled eggs with dried beef.
Todos le agarran así.
No,
A ver. This is crazy delicious.
Tiene cebolla, tomate y la machaca nada más, hecho en manteca de puerco.
And lard, like fresh lard.
Then a chicharrón, shrimp, and bacon fried rice. This inspired the recipe I'm making for you later in my kitchen.
Oh my god. It is so, like, it has everything about the fried rice that you love. The rice and how the grains are so separated, but then you have the chicharrón and the carnitas and oh my god.
After 2 hours over the fire, the cabrito is finally ready to taste. But not without heating the tortillas the northern way.
I've never seen these. Tortillas right on the coals.
Fastest way to do it.
So would you say this is the iconic dish of Nuevo León?
Yeah,
or
of course.
one of? It's
Yes, the one.
Miren este taquito. Look
Chulada.
at this taco. This is so worth the wait. And I know why people here are so proud of this.
Yeah.
Simple, delicious. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Hey, anytime. You're welcome. This is your house.
Gracias, I don't think I've eaten so much chicharrón in my life as I did in Nuevo León. They love their chicharrón and they have incredible pork belly. And I'm gonna make for you a honey glazed pork belly, arrachera, and shrimp fried rice. Now, does that sound good? Well, it's outrageously delicious. So I'm gonna start by making a brine for the pork belly. 3 cups of water, 1/3 of a cup of honey. A lot of the honey from Nuevo León is made from the orange blossoms, from the orange tree. The honey there is so delicious. And then 1/4 cup of salt. I have 1 pound of pork belly, and this piece of pork belly is so beautiful. Now,
pork belly comes from the belly of the pig, and it has the skin, all of the fat, and the meat. The beauty is in transforming these into something that's really tender, where the meat will be really soft and the top will be very crispy. While my brine cools, I'm gonna make my rice. So I have my saucepan set over medium heat. I'm gonna add a little bit of safflower oil, about 2 tablespoons, 1.5 cups of long grain white rice. I'm gonna stir these here for a second. And I'm not seasoning these with onion or garlic or anything. I'm just adding my homemade chicken broth, which is really tasty. So 3 cups chicken broth going here. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt. As I wait for these to start bubbling, I'm gonna cover my pork belly with the brine, and it's gonna just sit in here covered in this water with honey and salt. This really helps the pork belly get incredibly irresistible. You're gonna let these sit anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And because I wanna make this the best it can be, I have one in the fridge that's been sitting there for 24 hours. I'm gonna let it come to room temperature before I put it in the oven. I am going to add 1 cup more water because the pork belly really benefits from cooking really low and like really wet heat. So I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. Meanwhile, give my rice a stir, cover, and then reduce the heat to a lowest possible heat, and then the rice can cook in peace for about 12 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna put my pork belly in the oven at 300 for 2.5 hours so that the fat really melts into the meat and the skin on top begins to crisp. And then I'm gonna remove the foil and let it continue cooking there for about another half hour so that the skin on top can really crisp. And the rice is ready, and you know it because there should be no liquid at the bottom of the pan. Look how fluffy it is. If you don't fluff it immediately, it will clump up. Now it's time to make the sauce, but first I need something sweet. I've been eating Gloria since childhood. The soft, caramelly candies made from milk and sugar are everywhere in Mexico. But there are lots of copies and only one original, Marquetería La Guadalupana, and they make it the same way they have since 1943.
¿Cómo estamos?
¿Cómo están?
Muy
¡Qué
bien.
gusto! María
para
Luisa,
nosotros,
¿verdad?
María Luisa Gallardo.
Huele a Gloria desde la entrada. María Luisa, who goes by Muñeca or doll, is the grandchild of Natalia Medina Núñez, who adapted the recipe from an existing candy called Marquetas. She created her own version, wrapped them in the signature red cellophane, and sold them around town. She just needed a name.
Casi no la gente cuando ya lo probaba le decía, este dulce sabe a Gloria. Entonces mi abuelita dijo, pues qué nombre. Bueno, pues si le saben a Gloria, pues vamos a ponerle ese nombre.
So Glorias were born and quickly became famous worldwide.
Sí, al Papa.
The Pope has tried the glory.
Maybe the candy is blessed.
Lleva 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm selling candy now. Yo soy muy buena vendedora. I'm a really good salesperson.
Let's be honest, the Glorias sell themselves.
¡Qué rico huele! It smells like custard.
The process starts by mixing milk and sugar in a copper pot and stirring for about 2 hours until it's the perfect consistency.
La mano aquí arriba.
Ajá, está aquí.
Y esa un poquito más abajo, tantito.
Ya vi. Y hay que hacerle el circulito derecho. ¿Cuánto tiempo lleva usted haciendo?
30 años más o menos.
30 años. ¿Come todos los días?
No.
So here is a couple of hours. Here it's thickening. You need to stir a little more. And here, he can't stop stirring or it'll smoke and stick. And at this point, the mixture is leaving a trail in the bottom. But you can see the bottom. ¿Sí? ¿Qué hago?
Sí.
¿Yo le ayudo de este lado? Uy, qué
Así.
rico.
Then the mixture rests for about a day in the same room where Muñeca's grandmother used to sell them.
This has peanuts, cranberries,
Almendra, arándanos, cacahuate, papaya, pasa
dried papaya.
y nuez.
Sounds so delicious porque tienes el dulce de leche y tú luego tienes los
Sí,
trocitos.
ajá.
Yo voy a querer probar ese.
Y este Chiclogloria se llama, tiene
Ajá.
nuez
Ajá.
y coco.
Oh my God. I love the thought of that. Pecans
Y ese
and
es
coconut.
diferente.
I'm like in a candy toy store. Tu muñeca is teaching me to make the glorias. This looks so irresistible. It looks like fudge. It's just gooey, sticky, but still soft and malleable. And then she drops it into the ground pecans, just like that. So this is called the heart of the Gloria, which has the bigger pecan. Ok, le haces duro y luego le diste la vuelta para acá. Pero tú la haces tan rápido que la avientas. A ver, ¿verdad? Yo te vi. Hoy, ¿como cuántas haces en un día?
Pues unas 4,000, sí.
¿4,000? ¿La comparten conmigo?
Delicious.
Sí sabe a Gloria, la verdad. They're so good and so sweet and so irresistible. Mira, yo y el Papa ya comimos Glorias. And now I'm gonna make the sauce that's just gonna bathe the entire dish. 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and then it's 2 tablespoons of natural rice vinegar. So this is not the seasoned one. This is the unseasoned or natural. 1 tablespoon of honey. This is gonna give the sauce a delicious, sticky, glossy consistency. 3 tablespoons of the adobo sauce from the Chipotle sin adobo sauce. I'm gonna zest an orange. You wanna get the color of the zest, but you don't wanna get the pith or the white part because it's very bitter. And then I'm gonna cut the orange in half and I'm gonna squeeze the juice right in here. I'm adding a teaspoon of the piquin chiles, a tablespoon of finely chopped ginger. So if my recipe calls for a tablespoon of ginger, what I really mean is a super copious, generous tablespoon of ginger. You can do 1 to 2 serrano chiles or jalapenos. And I'm keeping my seeds in. And last thing I'm gonna chop is 3 garlic cloves. So adding this in here. I have the rice, I have the sauce, but I'm gonna make an omelette. I'm just gonna quickly scramble 3 eggs. I'm gonna add salt and pepper to the eggs. I have my pan set over medium heat. Then I'm gonna add safflower oil here. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon and I'm gonna let that heat for a second. So I'm gonna add my eggs to my hot pan. Also move the edges of the omelette to the center. Just push the edges in whatever hasn't cooked. That was pretty. You just want these to cook just for a couple of seconds because I don't want these to overcook and become rubbery. Once it can release, and then I'm gonna cut it into bite-sized pieces. I think one of my favorite things from any fried rice is the egg. So I'm gonna set this aside, and we're almost there. I'm gonna take out my pork belly. So now I'm upping the oven to 400 and I'm gonna give it like 20 to 30 minutes until the top really crisps. But as you can see, most of the fat has melted into the meat. Now we're gonna crisp it up. I am going to cut some scallions. I'm removing the bottom and then I'm removing the dry tops. So we're gonna use all of these for the rice. Add 8 scallions and I'm gonna use the white and light green parts for the rice. And I'm gonna use the darker parts, which are crunchy and fresh, for the garnish. So I'm gonna set these over high heat. I'm gonna get my pork belly out. This pork belly is perfection. I have all the pork belly rendered fat, which I'm gonna pour in here, which I'm gonna use to cook my fried rice. And it's fat that has the flavor of the salt, of course, and the honey. is a beautiful thing. I'm gonna add 2 to 3 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna quickly season my arrachera or skirt steak. The salt and pepper. And I want to take it out the moment that it's browned on all sides and just cook through. I don't want to overcook it. So here's my meat. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of that pork belly fat. And now I'm going to season my shrimp with salt, pepper. While that's happening, I'm going to cut my pork belly into pieces. I said the omelette was my favorite part of the rice. I'm like changing my mind right now. And this is ready. I'm gonna get my shrimp out. Who would have thought to put arrachera in the fried rice? Thank you, Luis. So adding more pork belly fat, and I'm reducing the heat to medium. I'm gonna add my vegetables, diced carrots, my fresh peas, and my scallions, asparagus, salt and pepper. So 1 more minute, and I'm raising my heat again right before I add my rice. I'm gonna mix this up, make a little bit more room in the center, and why not a little bit more fat. And remember that super yummy sauce. And now, no more fat, I'm kidding. Adding the shrimp and the meat and the yay to the yum, the pork belly. The omelette. It just smells orangey and it smells bacony, and I smell the pork belly and fresh from the chiles and the orange too. You ready? Because I am super ready. Because yum. Scallions on top. A little of the Pekin chile. Yum. You have to make this Nuevo León inspired fried rice. I just can't describe. And I need to say thank you, Luis, to you and your friends for welcoming us, for the inspiration, and for sending me the chile piquins.
Speaking of Luis, I can't leave his carne asada without trying one last treat. What happens when you combine a famous candy with a famous influencer and wrap it up in a quesadilla?
If you Google it, quesadilla con Gloria, ahí sale que Alma Blanco la volvió viral. Yo soy Alma Blanco.
So Alma turned viral with something that people used to eat here for decades?
The quesadilla con Gloria is made with the original Glorias and melty cheese wrapped in a warm flour tortilla. You can grill it right next to the meat at your carne asada. Then it's covered in dulce de leche and sprinkled with chopped pecans, abundant in Nuevo León.
Feels so good.
It does.
Have you tried it before?
No.
What do you think? It's like salty and sweet.
It's like a pan de dulce. It's almost like a grilled empanada. No? Delicioso. It's like a Mexican style savory cheese and sweet crepe. Está buenísimo.
Smoky flavor, a bit.